Hello, welcome to the True Mark. We're back again, and we've been gone for 3 or 4 months, but we're just like we're supposed to be here. Like,
Yeah, I said yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I mean, it's every time we try to walk away from it, we keep coming back, and not because we walk away because we wanted to. It's just that we have a life outside of this that takes time as well, and everybody like in the world's got a place in the world. We all have a meanings to be doing something, and to find it is it could be tough. And my life, I've been up and down, you know, addicted to many things, and I want to just move forward to a better way of living. And I look at my life sometimes as a disaster, and then and a success. Like I mean, with the jobs I've been doing, and the things I was gifted to have, like without an education and stuff, I still came a distance, and and then all it came from, I believe, God showed me the better ways of life. But I mean, He also showed me the bad parts that I lived, and do I regret it? I have to say not, because now I got to live a forward way of living. Like now I could pick and choose better things. And the only reason why I could do that is because I have the inner abilities now, like the spirit's grown within me, so I could look at better things. Before I was in a dull place, still with a spirit, but it was weak and shattered, I guess.
But you
Like
can see more of the opportunities that you have.
yeah, like what I mean, you have to earn that place in life. It just doesn't come. You could practice to be good and stuff, but I mean, and I guess it's the same way. But I mean, if you're in a dark place and you are connected to a higher power, like I chose, like I mean, it's God in my eyes, and the way I think, it's the energy is phenomenal. Like it's the positive things in the world, right?
Mm-hmm. That's
Like
what God is. He's like, he's
he's the
really,
positive, but I mean, there's a negative energy as well. And I believe that, like, I mean, God says we're all created in his image. And I believe that if it's in his image, does he have love and he has hate? Does he have, confusion too? Like, I mean,
probably, yeah.
because imagine from all of our, us in the world, we're not perfect. And God's, obviously gets upset, right? Like, I mean, he's like anybody, but you know,
Yeah.
it's like if, you have kids yourself and then you look at your kids, you hope the best for them. And then
Mm-hmm.
what happens when they drift away? It hurts you. And that's the same thing what I believe that God does.
Yeah,
Like,
probably.
like when we drift away, it hurts him. And then by the way I live by the keys to heaven is to keep me stronger in faith with God. And people out there might think I'm crazy because I should be studying all the Bible and stuff, but you got to take that first step.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is my first step, and maybe later in time I'll grow into it where I will choose to go further into it. But at this time,
This is what you were called to do.
yeah, and it's like I'm taking that first step and a step after step after step, and where it leads me, it's in a better place where I was.
When you rush it, you feel overwhelmed as well. It's like,
Yeah, like I mean, it's grounding. Like we're grounded, and by grounded means you could think about your way of day to day life, right? And
mm-hmm.
then you could pick and better choose better things in your way of life. But anyways, like I mean, yesterday I was talking about the storm, and I says, well, I hope it doesn't happen. I thought about it yesterday, and actually, I really wish it does happen quicker, because once it happens quicker, then it means that we get to live that positive life now, instead of living that positive negative continuously year after year, the time that's been passed
And I
from,
bet lots of other people want that as well.
yeah, from decades. Like I mean, once people start seeing that it's actually really happening, then you got that chance to grab onto something. Like I mean, whatever you choose, what's power in your spirit, that gives you that strongness toward closer to get to God. And they say Jesus too, but Jesus died on the cross. He did his thing. But by him dying on that cross means that he gave us that ability to be forgiven and move forward and pick that thing that's going to grasp you to take you to the next level of your life to get closer to God. So he did his thing. Now it's about time we do our thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we have to just keep going. But I mean, if you don't have nothing to hold on to, what do you have? So you're gonna keep bumping and dropping. And when you have something to take you forward and give you strength, hold on to it and keep doing it.
It's something to get you off your, like when you fall down, it like picks you back up on your feet to keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah, correct. And then you don't actually fall that far because you get up right away. Like if I didn't have the keys to heaven, or the way I was reading and led to read John 1 to 21, I don't know where I would be today. Like I mean, it's depressing life. Like I mean, it was, and it still is. It comes and goes. Like I mean, but I got more of a stronger faith now to really grasp to live better. But I mean, we're still living in this world, and this world is still chaotic. Like
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it's not the world; it's the people in the world that are the chaotic ones. They're the ones that are, we're the ones that one caused all this trouble in the first place.
I feel like lots of them are lost, like we were though before this.
Yeah, well, we're
They're just
still kind
lost.
of lost in
Oh
some
yeah.
way, and to gain further means this world has to go to that level where it's not destroyed, but I mean it has to. It's going to keep going in a circle. It's going to keep going and keep going, and that negative is going to always be stronger than the positive if we don't step up, and if we don't have something to grab onto to become positive. If you don't have that thing to get you positive, you're always going to have that negative. And is negative going to go away? Not if you look at it. Not if
Yeah.
you don't have something to give you that abilities to make it go away. It's always going to be with you. It's always going to be clinging to you.
And if you're constantly focusing on the negative, then the negative is gonna stay there. Like if you just keep thinking negatively all the time, that makes you just like continue to like be negative in certain ways.
Yeah, like it's well, like it's in a lot of cases it's the way we lived our life in the past and the way we're living our life now, and you're always gonna have negative in some form, but maybe just not as deep. It's gonna be smaller, and it'll get smaller and smaller. But I believe the world has to the, the drastic change of that storm, like I said before, like the storm, it's coming, but I know it is, because it has to. It has to get. We have to have this drastic change, and if we don't, one step at a time, it'll never. Well, this world will never change. Never. Like I
Oh, that's
mean,
so true.
it'll never change. It'll always be consistent with the way we're living it, and the people out there that are suffering are gonna suffer more.
I was gonna say I believe it's just gonna get worse because the more negative, it just keeps piling onto each other.
Yeah, like I mean, we have to get something to become positive, I'm not telling you. There's a lot of churches out there are doing really great, and they are living a positive life, and but I mean, it still has to be stronger. We have to be formed as one, and in order to do that is, the disaster is going to happen, and then whoever's left over that disaster, it will be able to pick up the pieces. But I mean, the pieces are going to have to live that positive life and stay really out of that negative
You have
way
to
of
build it
living.
up as positive.
Yes, it has to overgrow the negative. So like, that's what I believe. And addictions, I've been addicted to, drugs, most of my life. And I haven't touched anything in 25 years, maybe longer. But God took that away from me, the desire of it. But I still lived a negative life. I always did.
I feel like
Like,
lots of people are stuck living a negative life, even if like you're not, even if you're following God, you still have like negative, like you just said. Like,
yeah, negative, and I don't want to live negative. But I mean, if everybody around you is negative, got so much negative, it's gonna flow into
yeah,
you.
you pick up that
You
energy
you pick up the energies, and how do you stay away from it? Lock yourself in a room and never come out.
and go crazy.
You can't. You have to come out. You have to face society. You have to do what you gotta do. Like, I have good jobs. I was gifted with many jobs, and the biggest thing is the job's good, but some of the people with bad energies are still connected with you in your job, and they still gave me the opportunity to have my job, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have it. But
Yeah, that's true.
the biggest thing is, like, I wish we all could step forward and get stronger in our positive life, and the world needs a lot of help. And second of all, that's all I'm relating to you guys, is that it is happening. It's gonna happen, and if you don't grab onto something, you're gonna miss out. And that goes for a lot of my family, friends, and a lot of my enemies. They'll be all destroyed. And they say Trudeau's the worst one out there. Is he really? Because maybe he's doing his job. Because the way stuff is gonna go, it has to be destroyed to order rebuild. And if he's in his position where God chose him to be, you know, you can't stop it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's his fate. Like Jesus Christ had his his way of life that he had to take. But maybe Trudeau, all these presidents, they're all fighting with each other and they're ready to push the button. Well, maybe it's time to push these buttons.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
You
Like,
know,
no, not everyone agreed with Jesus. Like, lots of people were against him, just like how lots of people are against Trudeau and stuff.
yeah. Well, all them, everybody has their position in life, and I pick. Like, I mean, that's what I think.
No, I
Like, you
think so
mean,
too.
even Trudeau, all these people that they're chasing their dream, or they think they're changing the world, but I mean, people are saying he's disastrous. He's crazy.
In ways, they're still changing the world, though.
Sure it is, because I mean, it's gonna have that disaster, that storm, and it has to be created somehow,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So these people in their positions are going to create it, and it's going to happen. And same with that COVID that happened, that went wild here all over the world. You know, it went, and then something else is going to happen even worse than that. And so, but I mean, it has to happen. And yesterday I said I wish it didn't happen. Well, actually, I hope it happens faster, because then we can start moving forward in the real world of life, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it has to stop. We have to stop it. And how are we going to stop unless something happens? You could say, "Oh, I'm going to be good today,"
Mm-hmm.
you know, and an hour later, after you do that one good thing, you're doing
Sinning
the
again.
you're still doing things than ever. And what's really good, there's policemen out there, there's fire department people, there's all kinds of big high officials. Are they really good? are holding their top position, thinking they're doing good.
Yeah, I was gonna say they think
They're
they're doing
thinking
good.
they're doing good. But I mean, look around. Look at your cities. Look at your towns. Is it really being good? So that tells yourself. Like, I mean, maybe it's good for them and their
Mm-hmm.
home and their way of life.
Yeah.
But I mean, is it really, really good? People out there, really look around. Really look at these people. All our high officials. You know, if we have the highest cliff, they're walking us off. We have to
Yeah.
step up, and we have to look at this seriously, because I mean,
And
I've been in, in all walks of life, and I seen the worst of the worst. But I mean, I also seen good. But I mean, a lot of people that think they're doing really good ain't doing good. They just assume they're doing good.
I don't think you need lots of like power in that way. Like you just need power within yourself to make a change.
Yeah,
You don't actually need to like.
you need that chosen thing.
Mm-hmm.
What can make you change your life? If you don't have it, you're just chasing a tail.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just
You're
going in
just
a circle and circle, and you're not gonna be able to get yourself out. There's a lot of these homeless people that are out here. I see it daily. You know, I remember when I went to jail one time, and I got 4 years for 2 ounces of weed. And when I drive around and I see these people smoking that little pipe thing, glass bowl thing, and police officers drive right past.
Yeah.
I know it's out of control, but I mean, there's got to be some kind of mathematics to do some. Everybody in every parts of the city or town, and we all have rights to live that healthy life. And if they choose not to, because I mean, they have will too. They have their
But it's not
willpower.
fair to everyone else.
If they're let, they could go around do that and pollute people's areas. Is it really fair to everybody? Like, I mean, even in the poorest place, you guys put them in the poorest place in every city and every town. Is it fair to the people that are living in that poor area? They should have a place like a big mall, or give them a big building, and give them levels. We have an army in every town, or in the biggest cities. There's armies. They're not doing anything. They're sitting there marching around, practicing, waiting for war. Well, they could put them in, give them a place. The fires that are happening ongoing in our cities and towns, that could be avoided too. They could have a van where they just go in the worst areas, drive up and down the areas. They say they don't have the manpower. Well, there wouldn't be any fires. There wouldn't be any fires if they had it, and if they step up to it. And same with
There'd
the
be
police.
lots avoided if they
Well, yeah, because they'd be
make that
going up and
change.
down the alleys, the worst places ever. They see a sign of some kind of fishiness, they're about to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then they wouldn't have all this extra manpower and all this stuff that you need to be doing consistently. Like, I mean, it's foolish. Like, I mean, where's their thinking?
Yeah.
You got to think. But I mean, people in the worst areas, there's some people that lived there for 60, 70 years. Do they deserve to be treated like that? You people out there with that big power and stuff, you just put these people in a bad area. But there are still people, even the
Yeah.
ones that are into that stuff, but they should have their own position. Put them in an area, fence it off, give it to them, give them their place. They deserve their place too. But I mean, if people want to help them in that area. Take them out of the worst area, so that worst area becomes the best area in every city and every town.
And then they wouldn't have to keep like running around looking for a warm place to stay.
That too. Like, I mean, it'll end a drug fair, because I mean, it'll be under control. And if your city officials, buy it for them, give it to them. They aren't going to stop it. You can obviously see they're sitting in the cold, smoking it right in the broad daylight. They're not stopping, not going away. But you got to fix it.
And they're not even trying to hide it anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not. They're and that's their way of life. That's the way they chose, and then they keep pushing them, and I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if it's a way they're using them people to profit from, like by using them people, like and then they could get fundings for different things, different opportunities, and the city officials could tellingly start finding more stuff because there's more things happening around the area, like
Yeah, they make more
dirtiness,
money off it.
garbage laying around, so they could make money off them. Like, I mean, put them in their place. You got it under control, and then if they choose to come out of it, and don't force them into treatment because they're not going to go. I was there. You know, you could introduce them to it, but they have to want it for
Yeah,
themselves. If you don't want it, you ain't stopping them from doing
that's the
anything.
thing though. Yeah, you could go to treatment not knowing like your real intentions and then come out and do the
Well,
drugs again.
I was forced to go to treatment, so I did the treatment thing because I didn't want to go back to jail. So I did the treatment just so I could get out. And then once I got out, I went right back to it. But I mean, there is. I'm not saying it's. You could still introduce people to it and show them stuff, but you can't make them do.
Yeah, give
You
them the
can't make it to them.
opportunity though.
But you got to give them the free will to have that opportunity. If they choose to want to do it, let them do it because they'll be more successful at it once they want to do it.
Yeah,
And once
exactly.
they
And they'll
take it
feel more
themselves.
proud.
Definitely. But anyways, like I mean, there's so many things out there. Like I mean, even for these people, we look at them. They look. You say, "Well, get a job." Huh. Would you hire them?
Yeah, exactly.
Would you hire them? I know I was in that position. Nobody hired me. So, like, I mean, you could give them a chance and take advantage of them, and you're gonna, yeah, you're gonna hire them for next to nothing. Like I mean, that's what you're doing. Like, and that's what people are doing. So, and they're desperate to get whatever they can. I see panhandlers out there. That's their job. So you say get a job. Well, that's a job.
Yeah.
They're creating whatever little change they get. But I mean, if you really wanna, you hire them. You people out there, you really say hire them. Like, or we have to fix this problem we got. We have a disaster out here, and there is a real disaster coming because this is all got to stop. God has a plan. He sent his son, die on the cross for all our sins so we can be forgiven and grow a better life. But are we doing that better life? Look around, people. Look in your town, wherever you are. Look at your city. Look at the poorest areas. The poorest areas are being suffered for what? It shouldn't be suffering at all. It should be equal to your area.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone should be treated.
Every area should be treated the same. And maybe some people are richer than the others. So what? It's fine. But I mean, the poor area shouldn't have to suffer. Absolutely not. So wake up, people.
Yeah.
Till next time.